The most important tool for making money anybody ever has in the world is you. Economic downtime and multiplication and growth time for me because I have skills to be a super productive person because I learned how to double my efforts in production during the economic time and downtime. And today's quote says, passively neglecting to do the things that will make you rich is actively choosing the things that will make you poor. What does that mean? If you passiveness is when you are not actively choosing something. But if you are passively, knowingly or by laziness or lackadaisical disposition, neglecting to do the things that will make you rich, you are actually inadvertently, actively choosing the things that will make you poor. We live in a universe that there is no vacuum. There are very few neutral grounds. It's either you're up or down. It's either you're rich or poor. And then when you don't choose, you have chosen not to choose. So you always choose. You can't run away from a choice. And there are a few things that you would have chosen not to do, that you've chosen to do other things that will make you poor. So today we're going to be talking about wealth creation and at least 6 or 7 of those things that you are neglecting that is making you poor. Guess what? Before we talk about neglecting and poverty, it might sound strange that when you neglect something you're supposed to do to be rich, you have chosen to be poor. When you neglect to weed your garden and you neglect to plant the right crops that will give you harvest, you have actually sown weeds. That's why when you don't take care of your garden, weeds grow naturally without anybody planting them, watering them, or nurturing them. So you nurture, plant, and encourage weeds when you neglect your garden. And that's how it is. The weeds of poverty is what takes over your garden when you neglect to sow the plants and the crops of wealth. So, and I'm going to quickly run through 7 of those things that you are neglecting that are making you poor. The first thing you are neglecting is neglecting to improve your earning capacity. Neglecting to improve your earning capacity. The most important tool for making money anybody ever has in the world is you. Yes. So ask yourself, what are you doing today to make money? If you are creating content to make money, are you improving your ability to create better content? You might be making $1,000 from content creation. There are people out there in the world that are making $1 million from content creation. What is different from them and you is their skills in creating better content than you. So if you can improve your capacity to create content, you improve your learning ability. And when you neglect to improve, you have already chosen to remain where you are and to be poor. One of the most popular, erroneously encouraged earning capacity is the ability to get a job. We go to school from kindergarten to the university for almost 18 years just so that we can get a certificate and the ability to get a job to earn. And some people, when in the 20th or the 21st era, the early 21st century, when jobs were the in thing for making money, some people go as far as after getting their basic degrees, they want to get their masters, they want to get their PhD so that they can increase their earning capacity. But right now, when we live in a skill age where your skill is more important than your academic qualification, the first thing you should ask yourself is, what skill do you have for making money and how do you improve that skills? For instance, I don't just have a skill for sales, marketing. My talent, my power, my superpower, my super skill is talking. I'm just a noisemaker. I just talk. I don't have a hand work. I don't have a leg work like Messi and Ronaldo. I only have a mouth work. So when I was trying to improve my earning skills, I Googled the highest paying speaking skills in the world, and sales came up. And that was when I started training myself and improving my capacity to both market and to sell. And in the 21st century business space, marketing and strategy are becoming more the same in business, because now if you are not known in business, nobody will buy from you. So I had to learn to add marketing skills to my sales skill, because if people don't know about me, they probably wouldn't buy from me when I sell to them. So I had to learn how to market with my mouth and sell with my mouth. And I improved that by reading a lot of books and doing a lot of training on marketing and sales, that I regard myself as one of the fastest rising salesperson in Africa today, because I know my level of skill and how much I make per sale. Some of the sales I make, one sale is more than what a lot of other salespeople make in a year. So that's how well I am improving my sales skills. So what is your primary focal skill today for earning money? If you are not improving that skill, that means you are neglecting to improve that skill. You're actually actively killing yourself from making money. And rich people are always updating their skills so that they remain relevant irrespective of the times and the economy. And that's what I do. As a matter of fact, I don't believe economic downtimes are downtimes for me. Economic downtimes are multiplication and growth times for me, because when the economy is bad, I need to sell more, put in more effort to create the same result I used to create before. And when I do that, I create the capacity for more wealth, so that when the economy bounces back, woo, I have the skills to be a super productive person, because I learn how to double my efforts in productions during the economic downtime. So number one is neglecting to improve your earning capacity is actually actively choosing to be poor. Then second thing you are neglecting that is making you poor is reading. Yeah. There's so much money put in the pages of a book that so many people miss the opportunity to make money, because he who does not read is not better than he who cannot read. If there is one skill that going to school for 18 years did for all of us in the world, is the ability to read and comprehend. We become what we study. So if you want to be a doctor, you study medicine, you become a medical doctor. If you want to be a lawyer, you study law to become a lawyer. If you want to be an anatomist, you study anatomy. But guess what? If you want to be rich, have you studied wealth? If you want to be a successful businessman, have you studied successful businesses? If you want to be a success, do you study success? So leaders are readers, and the best rewards in every industry is reserved for the leaders. That's why a manager is paid almost 100 times more than a laborer. There are companies that pay their top level executive managers up to $1 million. And the same company, the same workplace, somebody else is earning less than $10,000 because they didn't read to get the knowledge of the manager. So when you stop reading, you stop leading. So every day you need to read for 3 reasons. Number one, you need to read because you become what you read. So when you are reading in your industry, you become the leader and you become more of your industry. Number two, reading is an exercise that exercises your brain just like we exercise the body. Every average person that works hard will tell you that you need to exercise your body for you to have physical fitness. That's how you need to exercise your brain, by reading, for you to have mental fitness. And number 3 is for you to remain relevant. If you stop reading in your industry, you stop being relevant in your industry, because whatever you knew yesterday was useful for yesterday. Whatever you read today will be useful for today and tomorrow. So when you stop reading, you stop being an expert and a relevant person in your industry. So if you are not reading, you are actively choosing to be poor by neglecting to read. And if you are too busy to read, then you are too incompetent to lead. So reading is one source of money that people neglect a lot. One of the people that actually, I will tell you this for free. If you know what they know and do what they do, you become what they are and get what they are getting. So I studied all the top people in the world. And one of the things I discovered is that all of them are avid readers. Bill Gates reads for 3 to 4 hours a day. Warren Buffett reads to 2 to 3 hours every day. And one of my super mentors, Tony Robbins, he set out to read a book a day and ended up reading 700 books in 7 years to become a super billionaire in another 7 years. I just reckon if I can read 700 books in 7 years, I can know what he knows, and if I can do what he's doing, can become what he has become and get what he's getting. So an average world-class CEO reads about 50 books a year. You can Google that. So anytime you want to be anything, just Google what those people do what they are doing, and then you get there. So if you are neglecting to read, you are choosing to be poor. The number 3 thing you are neglecting to do today that is making you very poor is you are neglecting to save. I cannot overemphasize this. Somewhere in the Bible, it says that there is treasure to be desired in the hearts of the rich, but a foolish man spends everything. If you spend all of your salary, if you spend all of your pocket money as a student, you are very foolish, very unambitious, and very poor. Because the first rule of wealth is to pay yourself first. What is paying yourself first? Paying yourself first means saving at least 10% of all the money that comes into your hands in a year. And when you want to know how much has come into your hands in a year, go to your bank at the end of this year or this month, tell them to give you your bank account from June last year to June this year. You'll be surprised how many millions of naira has passed through your bank account. And here you are claiming that you are broke. If you had learned to save 10% of all those money, you'll be having 10% of that figure, not as savings towards buying anything, but as seed money, which is the next thing I'll teach you. So if you read one of the best books on personal finance written over the years is The Richest Man in Babylon. Get that book and read it today. It's one of the 15 books I recommend for wealth and success. And the first rule for wealth is pay yourself first. 10% of all you earn, at least 10%, the more you are able to save out of that percentage or increase that percentage, the quicker you become richer. So if you are neglecting to save, you're actually actively choosing to be poor. And a lot of people make excuses. Oh, the money is not enough. How will I save? Let me ask you a question. When you didn't have that money, were you dead? There's what we call the theory of expansiveness of a lifestyle. We tend to expand our lifestyle to meet up with our earning potential. When we are unemployed and making no money, we're surviving. When we got a job and earning 100,000 a month, we're surviving. When we are moved from 100,000 to 1 million, you will think that we will save 900. But guess what? We will expand our lifestyle to still consume the 1 million naira. So if you don't learn how to save when you are a student and somebody dashes you 10,000 and you don't know how to save 1,000 out of it, you won't know how to save when you make 1 billion naira. Because the real discipline is in the little things. The Bible calls it the little foxes that spoil the vine. And it says, he that is faithful in little shall be faithful in much. But he that is unfaithful in little shall be unfaithful in much. So your unfaithfulness in not saving a portion of your little money shows that you will never be faithful if we give you billions. And that's what's wrong with Africa. Many of our leaders don't create faithfulness in their little. When they get in there, they loot all the billions and are not able to do anything with it because they didn't build that capacity for saving and faithfulness. So if you are not faithful in saving and you are neglecting to save, you're actively choosing to borrow. The next thing is, don't just save because savers are losers. After you save, what do you do with your savings? It's so intriguing and disappointing at the same time that people will save, and after saving, they will go and buy an iPhone. After saving, they use their savings to go and buy a nice shirt. You are a moo. You know, mumu is just M-U-M-U, but moo is M-U-U. M-U-U. So after suffering to save, you don't blow your savings in buying luxury items or giving yourself a treat or going for a holiday. That savings is now your seed money. And no farmer eats their seed. What do farmers do with their seed? They cultivate it to multiply it to a harvest. So that money you saved, the next thing is to invest it. And if you are not investing your savings, you're actually devaluing your money, because when money became a currency, if money is not moving and making more money, it loses value, because not only stagnant water stink, even stagnant money stinks, because what makes stagnant money stink is inflation. Inflation has been steady since money became a currency. That means if a painter of Gary was sold for 1,000 naira last year when you had saved 10,000, your 10,000 could buy 10 paints of Gary. And if you didn't invest that 10,000, and by this year you still have 10,000, and a painter of Gary is now 2,000, your 10,000 has lost half the value, because your 10,000 can only buy 5 paints of Gary as at this year than 10 paints last year. So that's how inflation makes your stagnant cash stink. So learn not only how to save, but to invest. And for you to invest, please don't invest in something you don't know and something that is not secured. They'll tell you one Ponzi scheme, put 10,000 here and we'll give you 20,000. And you want to multiply your money so fast, you put it there and you lose everything. The only thing worse than stagnant cash is lost cash. So it's better you keep your cash, and then you get a vehicle that has 3 things, the 3S of investment. That vehicle of investment must be simple, must be something you understand. That vehicle of investment must be secure or safe. It must be something that is so secure and safe that you can never lose your capital. And that simple vehicle must be sustainable. It must be simple, safe, and sustainable. It must be something that doesn't go away, because if that thing goes away, your money goes away with it. So it has to be simple, secured, and sustainable. And for me, I found that mostly in real estate. And there are some commodities in Nigeria that don't get spoiled. Buying and stocking them during their season and selling them during their off season when they are ×2 or ×3 the money is another thing that is simple, sustainable, and secure, because most of those commodities are usually food commodities and will always eat food. Like palm oil, if you understand palm oil very well, there's a season you buy cheap and there's a season it goes for ×2 or ×3 the money. So if you learn to invest in that vehicle, it has to be a vehicle that is simple, a vehicle that is secured, and a vehicle that is sustainable for you to multiply your money. The next thing that you are neglecting to do, so neglecting to invest is actually choosing to be poor. The next thing you're neglecting to do is neglecting to learn your investment vehicle. Oh my God. A lot of people lose money in investment because they don't want to study what they are investing in. You have shares. You don't know anything about the company. You don't know anything about shares. You want to buy shares. You hear crypto is the next big thing. You don't know anything about crypto. You don't know how crypto is done. You want to buy crypto. You hear. No, POS is the next thing. You don't know anything about POS. You don't know how POS is. You want to invest in POS. People just want to walk without first learning to crawl. I mean, I didn't say that well enough. People want to fly without learning to crawl. Anything you don't understand and study, you can't maximize its yield. Any farmer that farms cassava knows everything about cassava, know the season where you plant cassava, know what part of cassava is planted. For yam, it is the yam tuber that is planted. For cassava, it is the stem that is planted. If you don't know these things, you want to plant cassava, you can't take cassava tuber to put in the ground, and the cassava tuber will get rotten, and you make nothing, and you come out and say, cassava farming doesn't pay, it's scam. But in Nigeria, we do that a lot. Cassava na scam, na lie. You didn't study cassava farming before you went into investing in cassava. So whatever vehicle you want to put your money is, you need to study that vehicle. And that's why the white people or Americans say, put your money where your mouth is. But me, I say, put your money where your brain is, because any vehicle you don't understand, you won't know what makes you the money, how to increase your yield, and how to multiply the money in that vehicle. So neglecting to learn your investment vehicle and master it is making you poor. Like real estate, there are places you buy land today in Nigeria and you'll be poor. So it's not just when you hear real estate, there is land in Isiopamo Tonkom for 300,000. It's cheap, 300,000. You go and buy. 10 years later, the land is still 300,000. You're wondering, hey, this thing is scam. But there are places you buy land today, and next year you buy land for 300,000 today, and by next year, that same land is already 2 million naira. So it's all about knowledge, knowledge, and knowledge. So not learning your investment vehicle is making you to choose poverty. And then the sixth thing that you are neglecting that is making you poor is neglecting to live. This has created so much poverty and moral decadence in our society today that it's amazing how so-called average people that call themselves rich are devaluing their lives by not learning how to live. Going to club is not living. Buying a car is not living. Buying a private jet is not living. Going on vacation is not living. Having time for your kids, that's living. Having time for your exercise, that's living. Having time for your spirituality and meditation, that's living. Having time for your learning and improvement, that's living. Having time for happiness and joy, that's living. Doing the things you love versus doing the things you hate, that's living. So don't allow your obsession for chasing money and trying to create wealth to stop you from living. Some people even miss to go to church, miss time with their wife, miss time with their kids, miss time with their family because they are chasing money and they end up ruining the very life that they are trying to make money for. And when you make all the money and you come back and you don't have a life, you have earned a living without living. So don't allow your earning a living stop you from living. Like if you notice all over the world, there is no corporate entity that employs you for 12 months that does not give you 1 month of what they call the annual leave. You're supposed to take that 1 month to rest and recuperate. If you don't rest and recuperate for that 1 month, you are not living. And you're making a living is not allowing you to live. If you're a business person and you don't give yourself time to recuperate and rest, you are not living. And then there are 24 hours in a day, and science has shown that you're supposed to rest 1/3 of the day for 7 to 8 hours. And some of us rest only 4 hours because we are trying to make a living. You can do that for a short period of time to create a boost for your business. But if you make that a lifestyle, you end up with some of the degenerative lifestyle diseases that we have, ulcer, hypertension, and all kinds of cancers that are because of lifestyle. And then you're working so hard, you don't even have time to eat a healthy meal, but you're making a healthy income. You are not living. You're making a healthy income, but you're eating trash. You are not living. You are actually making a living, but not living. So neglecting to live is also killing you. And one of the things you can take advantage of if you're an African is that we have one of the best organic natural foods in the world. If you neglect our local nutritious organic food and eat the foreign processed junk food, they are not called junk food as a slang. They are called junk food because they are junk. So if you are putting junk in your body, you are living a junk life, even though you are earning and saving and investing and making a lot of money. So when you make money, don't neglect to live, because neglecting to live, you're actively choosing to be poor. The last thing a lot of so-called rich people neglect to do is neglecting to plan your succession. Have you noticed that most of the big men, especially in this part of Africa, when they die, everything dies with them? We don't hear about their children. Some of them, they die, their businesses die with them. We don't hear anything again. Why? Because they didn't start early to start planning the succession of who takes over their business. Who will all this business and building for who? So if you fail to train the child that will take over your business and you are training the business alone, the business will die with you. If you fail to train a child and teach him how to take over your business, the business will die with you. Even if you don't have a child, if you fail to train an assistant or a competent deputy that will take over your business will die with you. And that's why African businesses hardly survive the lifetime of the owner. But many people like Americans have learned this succession planning, that most of their businesses live transgenerationally because they know when to transition from personal ownership to corporate ownership, from corporate ownership to public ownership. If you don't learn that succession planning, then all that you are doing is going to go to waste. And guess what? A lot of people sacrifice their own life with the belief that they are going to help their children. But if you don't plan that succession, you've not helped your children, because when you die, all your dreams, your plans, your business, your money dies with you, and your children will be worse off by your death. But if you learn how to plan the succession, you would have made not only your sacrifice worth the while, but your children will be rich and better for it after you. So those are the 7 things that you are neglecting today to do that is making you poor. No. Remember, our quote is passively neglecting to do the things that will make you rich is actively choosing the things that will make you poor. There are 1,001 things you can do to be rich, but I just chose the 7 most common ones that most people neglect that are making you poor. And if you are neglecting to improve your earning capacity, you are choosing to be poor. If you are neglecting to read, you are choosing to be poor. If you are neglecting to save, you are choosing to be poor. If you are neglecting to invest your saving into a vehicle that makes more money than inflation, you are choosing to be poor. If you are neglecting to learn that your chosen investment vehicle to understand it for maximal returns and maximum yield, you are choosing to be poor. If you are neglecting to live a balanced life and a healthy life, you are choosing to be poor. If you are neglecting to plan the succession of your business, you are choosing to be poor. And these are the 7 things that I feel that are very common, because anybody can improve their earning capacity, anybody can read, anybody can, in fact, everybody should read, everybody should save, everybody should invest, everybody should learn their investment vehicle, and everybody should live a good life, and everybody should plan their succession. So these 7 things, if you are neglecting them, stop neglecting them today and stop being poor for your accelerated result. As a parting note, sympathy to the poor is shown by you not being one of them. The best sympathy you can show to the poor is you not to be one of them, because for you to end poverty in the world, the first thing is to remove yourself from being poor. And for you to help any other poor person, you need to have made enough money to help the person, and you can't be poor and help another poor person. So if you love poor people, if you wish rich people will help poor people, don't complain about rich people not helping poor people. Stop being poor, become rich, and start to help poor people, and reduce the number of poor people in the world by removing you from the number of poor people in the world, and you would have made the world a better place. Go do this today for your accelerated results. And remember, if you enjoy this, subscribe to the channel below so you can get more of these for accelerated results. And if you're watching us live from any of the social media, Instagram, Facebook, every Sunday evening we'll be here to give you value for your time for your accelerated results. I love you, amen.